All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Link Click, Season 2, Episode 1.
Season 2.
Yeah, a lot of people are dead for now.
Yeah, for now. Right. So, the rules have been broken.
Mm-hmm.
We have an enemy time traveler, someone who can hop into people's bodies just like them. Of course there is. And now we have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lu Guang is dead.
Is dead. I get the feeling, though, as far as, like, you know, okay, yeah, no cheating, totally get it, that's right, but I'm a cheat first and foremost right here to get my friend back, and then do you take issue with that? Well,
yeah, stand back. I'm about to cheat and time travel so hard.
Yeah,
right.
Like it's.
I have been waiting for this for a while because I have been sus of you, Lu Guang, for so long, and the idea that you would have these rules feels way more like you put these rules in place for reasons.
Yeah, they're
the reasons why.
They're ethics conventions, not laws of the universe.
Well, right. But the reasons why you do them are not because you don't know what could happen. They're because you could know what could happen, and that's where I would love to find out that he's like, oh yeah, I've been worried that I could die, or we'd bump into this person, or
and yet.
And yet we can't talk with him now because he's only in the past now.
And this is something that surprised Lu Guang. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. This will be interesting.
This will be really interesting. Mm-hmm. And also, how does their story continue if you don't have someone to clap with? You know?
Yeah, no, I fully believe that the first thing that's going to be happening is the okay, that was really fucking scary. But, all right, go back, we'll tie up the sister, then do the thing the same way as you did. And then it's like, okay.
But are we going to be perpetually in the past?
I mean, we could be.
For the rest of the story?
That is something that Caleb and I were talking about. We were like, wait a minute, hang on a sec. With how this is going, maybe we can't just be like, this character from the one episode is dead. We don't need to worry about them. No, we might actually still need to worry about them because there might be a whole lot of going back into the past.
Oh, there's absolutely going to be a whole lot of going back into the past. And now we have to just see if we can have any permanence, because until we have only, one time traveler's will being enacted into the timeline, we're going to have constant things being rewritten and undone.
Okay, all right. I know this is before we even get into the season, so this is totally premature, but... This is set up for a super awesome, montage of they defeat the guy, and then they're able to go back and all of the time things that have been set wrong by this guy, they can then fix.
Yeah, but they won't know what he set wrong.
Well, sure, but they,
but that's it. It'll have to be new stuff from here on out that they're actively engaging him with.
Well, new stuff from our point of view, but
that's
it doesn't need to be new stuff from a chronological linear time.
But they won't know that stuff though. It's just.
No, sure. They don't, but
unless he literally has I did this on August 8th,
Yeah, I mean, I imagine you would need an incredible amount of organization in order to be like, wait, hang on,
this is all an ad for, cloud services and spreadsheets.
Yeah.
But y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Fuck! Oh!
这是傀儡，真凶另有其人。
你是他的朋友吧？
你也是。
Oh my god.
特殊能力的人。
Whoa. Fuck.
一切都在发生改变。精灵，死亡无法逃避。那现在就面对他，也许才是更好的结局。
Shit. Having Lu Guang's perspective as the recap.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, yeah. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
This is delightfully creepy.
Oh my god, this is unsettling. I don't know why, but teddy bears can just suddenly become... Whoa!
Oh, that's a nice mix. Okay.
Watch this season be a loop. And they go into the past in order to clap and set things back to where they were at the very beginning.
Sure.
Like the very beginning of the series.
Lu Guang，
He's dead.
喂， 你好像还没搞清楚状况。
Yeah, so let me tell you.
现在掌握你朋友性命的人，可是我。
流民也是被你控制的吧？你到底是谁？想干什么？
故意叫这么大声，是想把外面的警察招来？但你就不怕这个叫乔琳的
Oh fuck.
被捕入狱
She's
吗
gonna be. Yep.
告诉我，你的能力到底是什么？
Oh.
No, fuck that.
哦
或者
you
从
first.
何说
You
起
not.
吧可以先从如何发动能力开始，例如拍手。那么除了拍手以外，你的能力发动还有没有其他条件？比如瞬间移动是否有距离限制？
They think that he has
Yeah, yeah.
teleportation, right?
No,
right.
this is actually great.
Yeah.
我的能力是将自己传送到脑海中想去的任何地方，但传送距离跟我的思维聚焦程度
Yeah, nice lie. I love it.
需要一个封闭的环境，才能游刃有余的和你周旋。
你撒谎！
Yeah, damn it.
看来你对之前作弊的事没有深刻反省。你骗得了我，但骗不了他。
Oh shit.
Fuck!
你的能力也和照片有关吧？之前明明可以瞬间移动，但现在只能跑过来。
Yeah,
那个
yeah.
房间和现在最大的区别就是贴满了照片。
Well, it also makes sense given where this is.
区的能力，好想夺过来，亲自体验一下呢。
Oh god.
能力
Oh, possess
Possess
him.
you, yeah, and use your ability.
That's all kinds of nutty.
想想斯文师傅教过的技巧。
Yeah.
夺刀呢？
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we're bringing this back. Let's go.
Although, no, if he takes the knife, then is that gonna make him?
不然，还是会给对方留下活
I'm
动。
wondering when's gonna be the most inconvenient time for the cops to come in.
你越是怕，
Fuck yeah, the animation.
反而给对方提供了更大的进攻范围。在迫不得已的情况下，唯有迎头而上，才能险中求胜。
Oh! Whoa!
Holy
Whoa!
shit!
Whoa! Yeah. I mean, this is yeah.
这是怎么了？
乔玲，你
I mean, for her sake, he should take the blame, you know, so that he
Yeah,
can
'cause
get
he
out of
can-
this.
Although being trapped in a room where you might not have access to pictures could be tough.
有人受伤了，常先生，快叫救护车！
把刀放下，不许动，双手放在我看得见的地方。
收到，收教室。
188号车库内发生一起恶意伤人事件，
Yeah.
人后果有多少？
没事的，乔玲，
Yeah. Yes. Just look at me.
快救他呀！
Yep. He could run straight to Lu Guang.
Yeah.
Now he's dead.
Okay.
Yeah. They can tell. Yeah. Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, fuck all the
All
crazy
right.
mechanics and stuff, but these characters are still characters. They're human. They
Yeah.
have to deal with this
Right,
shit.
right.
伤势严重，
Oh no way! They're gonna try to save
心
him.
率下降。
If he actually does get saved, that would be nuts.
说的都是事实。我真
Yeah.
的没有持刀伤人，是那个自称朋友的人，他能控制别人行凶，
Yeah,
流
that's.
民也是被他操控的。
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
But
yeah.
like, ask for the cop that you worked with before.
陆光是我最好的朋友，我为什么要伤害他？
he's alive.
Holy
Fuck.
伤者很
shit.
严重，
But yeah, they'll have to
执行前
be lucky here to save him. Yeah.
In a lot of
控制艾玛
ways.
跳桥。
你为什么会在现场？
Oh shit.
小伙子，你在这里编故事只会浪费时间。
Yeah.
Well,
那
the
个房间
problem
里
is
就你
he
仨
could prove it to them.
凶器在你手上，而且你也说了，那姑娘是无辜的，那还能有谁？你说自称朋友的那个人，根本不存在。
But then that would be giving info to the killer.
He's like trying to figure out how do I explain
If the
this?
killer thinks that you have to have photos,
我要跟
Yeah,
他
okay.
解释。
一，
Yeah.
Okay.
For the sake of the story, I'm kind of glad they weren't able to save him. Like,
well, it could have been a fun complication if he did live, actually.
yeah, yeah.
流民的亲属通知了吗
I just like that there's actual
通知
like,
是
full
通知了。
consequences here.
但是
等元宇宙这个概念炒起来，老李，你可得记得我的好，
Oh
给我
God.
留一份啊！
知道知道，
Oh jeez.
电话来了。
That's never catching on.
Nope.
喂，哪位？
Kids already have that in Roblox.
Yeah, exactly.
我跟你们说过了，他只要人没死，就别来烦我了。
哎呦，怎么了？
As long as he's not dead.
刘明那个臭小子又惹事了。
Oh right. Of course. Yeah, yeah.
刘明好像又惹事，进了医院，你赶紧去看看。
我刚健完身。
Is this our villain?
Or just
有
the
什么
next
情况你就
puppet.
看着处理，能用钱解决的就干脆一点。
希望如此。
Just a new character too. Either way.
这小子要有他弟弟一半的能力，我就谢天谢地。
Oh.
刘校长都该回国了吧？
哎呀，不聊他们了，我们继续。
Is it just the Drip Lord himself?
Right,
coming through?
like that. Could, okay.
Yeah.
He's slicking his hair back. All right. Definitely the villain. He actually might be their unlikely ally.
Maybe, but he has the eye.
He does
kind
have
of
the yeah
bags,
uh-huh.
and he has like a
给你点了外卖。
very
谢谢。
yeah.
陆光的情况现在怎么样了？
He's dead.
抢救无效，走了。
Fuck.
Okay. That actually makes things simpler for you, believe it or not, in a way.
Yeah, but
Harder maybe, but simpler.
你面煮的时间太长了，南寝那一碗快煮成南寝那一坨了。你等下吃完，
Right,
把碗放
yeah,
池子里，晚点我一起洗了。
Yep.
yeah.
你又调皮了是不是？回来，
Oh.
坐好。
Oh
Alright.
wow, this is
Alright.
fucking gorgeous. Oh
Yep.
my god.
到底有完没完？弱智！那里
All
太
the
潮湿
little
了不能放
comments
那
over
儿
time.
And it's just silent, just
Yeah,
weeping,
yeah.
just like
Uh-huh. Yep, yep.
那是乔玲姐的快递，不要试图改变过去。笨蛋！
Shit.
yeah, and that's what he lingers on.
Uh-huh.
你要找的人来了。
Okay.
小队让我来接你。
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
后面还有很多事要办，你也抓紧时间，先歇歇。
That's a very positive response. That ringtone is sending me.
哎，陈老师，帮我接一
Yeah.
下。
你女儿这几天闹腾的可怜。
Oh.
今天可能回不去了，案子还没办完呢。那有什么事的话，我待会儿给他打过去。我现在正开车呢，不说了，先挂了啊。
有空了就打个盹儿。
遵命，老婆大人。
拜拜。
怎么了？
没事。
Are you gonna do it now?
No, there's
时间真快，
He's desperate. He's
no
scared.
sure, but like
婚礼也拖到现在还没办。
2年前，
but like you have
God, he
all the
still has
time in the world to
blood on
think about this. I guess
弱智！我都说了
There's
多少
only-
遍了？
Yeah.
无论过
like
去
you might not always have that
不问将来
photo, but
Oh. Fucking love it.
活着。
弱智，让你失望了。
amazing.
我要休息。
小队，不是说抢救无效吗？
我故意让同事对外散假消息，混淆。
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
shit. We're going.
是刘民。
Yeah.
Right.
He did that. Yeah.
用手铐勒自己脖子，企图自杀。
You tried.
出战仪准备。
Gotcha. Okay, so cool. That wasn't fake footage. All right.
Right. We just need to pay attention to the.
3、
Yeah.
1。
还特地问你情况都了解了没？
Yeah,
点点头，我以为他们跟你交代了实情呢。
哎呦，陈警官，以后咱聊天能不能打开天窗说亮话？
Yeah.
这波含蓄话聊属实无。
Okay, I was wondering why he was being so like helpful and
Yeah, and
everything.
happy about it.
Yeah, I'm like, this is a guy that.
手头上了光。
So
Yeah, you-
we're gonna start with some therapy.
Yeah, you experienced that.
是必须不惜一切代价，把他那台手机给我抢回来。
Get his
有锁定
phone
操控
back.
能力犯，
Huh.
目前只能靠流民留下的线索了。
Oh shit.
Okay.
陆光，你刚手术完，别太勉强。
是啊，
But if we give them to him, he can look into
Yeah,
that
yeah.
time.
Okay, I like it. So then, does that mean that there's an awareness on the family's part of the abilities?
这不是陈警官的手机吗？
Wait.
逼，糟了！
肖队，我跟你一起去。
What?
They're already in a fight right now.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh my god.
Well, so much for keeping a low profile.
Okay, give us
Holy
this
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is. Mm-hmm. Okay. I really like these developments.
They tried to play mind games and hide the fact that Lugon
Yeah.
was alive.
But the idea that, like, yeah, as long as the person finds out at any point what the situation
Right.
is, then it doesn't matter. But also, because they're acting so directly, someone with powers or whatever, that's ridiculous. Like, that's very quickly becoming, like, something that they'll be able to get other people on their side for.
Right.
Even without, like, actually using powers in front of people.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
I like
Season
these
2
developments.
starting off really strong.
Real strong.
Giving us that little bit of recap, so in case you needed a little bit of details done there. That's the only gripe with it. But then of course we go straight into Lu Guang is dying.
Yes.
We are talking with our antagonists here.
Mm-hmm.
They're curious. Their thing they're curious about is what you can actually do, which
Right.
means. And in my opinion, we're not going into the anime conventions of where people just guess immediately and know exactly what your powers are.
Well,
because
right, but there's the fact that they didn't know actually gives you potential information because normally in like if I had powers and then something else sussy started happening, I would think, oh, maybe somebody else has the same power as me or something like that, right?
That would be a decent assumption.
But given that they didn't make that assumption,
Right.
that means
Their power might be very different.
very different because they
They
would
can
not
already
have
tell that it's different.
Right, like when
the limited info they
Cheng
have.
Xiaoxi was like, teleporting and all that stuff, the other person didn't know what they were doing or how or like that was fundamentally different.
Now we know that it was a very convoluted method of using time travel.
Right, with
but-
the photos and all that
With the photos
stuff.
and all that. Now that might be just too smart for this antagonist to figure out.
Right, because
which is cool because
they might-
then it still makes our protagonist feel powerful and
right, exactly.
and-
Because in a situation where you have a time traveling enemy, which they might not even no, they're definitely time traveling. But they might not understand that it's time travel. I'm not sure.
Well, that's the part that I think is actually really, really potentially interesting. If they're currently just possessing people, let's just go with what we know. They're possessing people. But if they're possessing people currently, they might not have a partner. So they might not be able to go into the past.
Or just not have perfect information of how the ability works or things like that. Like their information is limited. And so they do things like, oh, I know that this officer is connected to them because he was on the case of where the thing is. I'm going to possess the partner of that officer and just sort of watch and wait and see, or whatever.
Right, but we already have an example in the world story where we have people already having different abilities. Lu Guang and Cheng Xiaoxi have different abilities.
That is very true.
Their abilities are fundamentally different. So
Yeah.
this antagonist's abilities are closer to Cheng Xiaoxi's than they are to Lu Guang's.
Right.
I think that's what makes this so potentially interesting is that Lu Guang actually has the observation of time surrounding the photos point in time.
Right.
Cheng Xiaoxi can't do that.
Right.
So So if this person just is a Cheng Jiaoxi, but doesn't have a partner, then they could just be, well, I just hop into people's bodies based on some kind of info that I gather.
Right, and I'm guessing the
like
focus
that.
is not photos, because otherwise they wouldn't have had to put together that he was doing the teleporting through photos, right? And and so like that's, and I would even wager a guess that them saying teleporting, if it's like full cleverness, right? Not just like them not figuring something out, but actually being intentional, is that they're saying teleporting on the off chance that Cheng Jiaoxi doesn't have time travel.
Right.
They don't want to tip their hand that they have it.
True.
Because if you,
That's a good.
if
a
you're
good
up
deduction
against
there.
somebody with time travel, that changes the game so fundamentally that like, you know, you just, there are different options that your enemy has.
There's also the other thing that regardless of whether anybody in the antagonist person or group, whatever, has time travel, or if they do, some direction or even limit with regards to it as well. Because we already have some with regards to Lu Guang.
Yeah,
and
or like the 12-hour limit for Cheng Jiaoxi, right?
Yeah,
Where it's like, okay, that's good to know.
Well, that's because of Lu Guang's observations.
Sure, yeah.
He
He only sees 12 hours worth of data, and so that's all that's wise to basically deal with. Sure.
And again, this is cool because Lu Guang being alive then has me pull back on a lot of my theories about Lu Guang.
Right. And
except it's still more of a thing of where that can come about, but by different circumstances.
Because we had Lu Guang's internal thoughts as he was dying. That's crucial.
Yes, very crucial.
And then two, the way that this can be, the reason, one of the reasons that this is satisfying to me, whereas otherwise I would see it as being a backtrack, where it's like, okay, you had this really shocking thing where you backpedaling off of a crazy character death, is because it was going to be backpedaled if it did happen regardless. It was just a question of sort of when, because, I mean, okay, yeah, sure, a crazy murderer comes up and kills someone close to you and says, hey, don't break the rules, you've been breaking the rules. That's great and all. You're still going to save your friend at the first opportunity that it's wise to do so, right? That might be after the person is dealt with, so that you know that they won't, you know, do anything again, or they won't realize that you can time travel. But like Lu Guang's death already in my mind was not going to be permanent, especially given the fact that there have been things that have been happening that showcase that the checkpoint kind of like nature of the junctures and everything is more of just a, that's why the butterfly effect isn't happening, not a you can't actually change things, because clearly this guy managed to go back in time and strangle the guy that he was possessing. You know, that's not something that happened in the original timeline, you know.
Which is where I think Lu Guang had a perception of the way things were, and that's changed. Now, I want to go back to his monologue here, because I think there's actually a couple things hidden in here. He figures out, okay, the real killer is another person, we got a puppet, and then he gets stabbed. I love this, like, artistic expression of what Lu Guang's perception is. Because I think what he's seeing is the way in which things are temporally unstable.
I like it. Okay.
He's seeing the way in which things can be, like, in flux, you know?
I was thinking that it was just the shock of, like, oh my God, you know.
That too.
Like, this is happening. But no, I really like that as a, like, as an interpretation. Because...
But this is the big one here. When he then goes into this here, the time hopper then goes, oh, you're also someone with special abilities. But then he has this flash here, and it's him holding Lu Guang's corpse. Sorry, Cheng Jiaoxi's corpse.
Right.
And then he says, right here, it seems everything is changing.
Right.
So this surprised him. But the thing is that I think what this is showing is that he's experienced near-death situations, probably with Cheng Jiaoxi, at some point in his own iterations of things going as an observer. And it's I have done my bit to make sure that things are going just a good direction. I'm following a whole bunch of rules. I've stacked all the the Tetris board in such a way that we've never broken a board,
which
but
is a great
now
bit
a
of...
board has been broken, but I'm the one dying here, and it's the shit. Okay, well then if death cannot be avoided, then it might be better
to accept it
if I just face it now.
Right.
And that's fucking wild, because if it's my whole thing has been about basically making sure that I can just do this time stuff in a way where everything is safe. No crazy butterfly effect happens. Nothing really bad happens, like somebody dying. But if it's me, then it's okay, better to face it now.
Yeah, it's something where, like, given that it's the internal thoughts, there's no front that he's putting on. Not that he's like a deceitful kind of person, but if you're dealing with these big scale kind of things, it would make sense that you might keep the information limited, right?
Right. He doesn't want things to go out of control.
Right.
Yeah.
And there is that wiggle room where it's like, it can't be changed. Still, theoretically, from within his mind, it could be he holds so strongly to the principle that no, this must not change, that, he says it as a can't change.
Right. But this is where I have to hold things a little bit lightly, because there are times when this show's subtitles aren't translated perfectly well.
Yep.
But that's okay, because I still feel like we get the general premise of what's going on. There's nothing too contradictory. But the idea of everything is changing, that is a present tense, that is a present tense, perfect present tense statement about a person that can observe
more
time,
than the present. Yeah.
Which means
saying everything is changing is kind of a big statement.
What Lu Guang is saying is that he had a view of not just past, but also future. And the way it was going is not what he expected.
And that's a way that it can still be something where we can still have the tension, because he doesn't know what's going to happen, because things have been significantly disrupted
by a new party coming in.
When previously, the reason that I imagine he would know about the future is because, yes, maybe directly, but also because they've been doing such a good job of playing precisely on what they do within the timeline as far as not changing things.
That it's
if I had knowledge from like a previous iteration or whatever, that should still hold true. It shouldn't change. But now it is. And so this is a way that you can have Lu Guang present in the story, but still have the effect of, oh shit, everything's different. Because that's one of the reasons why Lu Guang dying is so impactful, is not just because of what it does to Cheng Jiaxi, that's the main bit, but also from the standpoint as far as the mechanical urgency and satisfying resolution to this crazy problem that they've now been presented with. How do you make it so that Lu Guang doesn't just make it feel too safe, right? And okay, here's
he can actually die.
He can actually die, and he doesn't have full info, right? One, he thought he was going to die and he didn't, but two, everything's changing, so now what he knew might not really apply anymore.
Right. But I think this idea of him being the one that basically kind of has a good kind of view of things. I think this is almost 100% confirmation that he's been looking at things from that impersonal, outside of time, top-down perspective with the everything's going bad. Everything is changing, which means so what was the good that you saw? How do you know that? What is everything is changing unless you have a actual holistic perspective?
But not currently a holistic perspective, because otherwise he wouldn't be getting surprised.
No.
Right.
Obviously. But the idea is that that's because of another time hopper here.
Yeah, right.
That's a thing that actually violently adjusts things. He had before this an existing view of the way things had gone and were going.
Right, but so okay. So here's my thoughts with regards to it. With him surviving, the fact that he was surprised by that, unless it's something where there was actually some time travel stuff that hasn't happened yet or whatever,
that's what I'm implying.
That made it so that he actually did survive the stabbing, which could totally be a thing. If it's not that, that's the exception. But if it's not that, then that means that his knowledge and information that he has is not getting updated in his present state.
No.
Right?
No,
That,
it's
that
not.
it's because any information he has of the future is from a thing from before this iteration or whatever.
Yes.
And so he's going, this is the map of what it should be. And cool, so now I know what's going to happen. Oh, fuck, my map's useless, right?
Right, my map is useless. I think that's exactly what it is. It is something where he had a view of things, regardless of how perfect it was. He had a view.
Right.
He believed in it. Like he
there's
believed
conviction there.
There's conviction to it. But if Lu Guang is the rules guy, I think it informs most of his rules.
Sure.
I think it's not the reverse.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense because
Right.
because especially like he could have them from the beginning, but given the fact that we know the rules aren't like truly as mechanical rules as he made Cheng Jiaxi believe, because you know that Cheng Jiaxi doesn't play by the rules. So hey, make him think
They're more to control him in a way that he can better predict.
Exactly. Right. Make him not as much of a bull in a china shop kind of situation. Yeah. Makes sense.
Because
right?
he has a crazy power. Yeah.
Yep. It is indeed a crazy power. But yeah, like there was this whole direction that my mind was going as far as like if Lu Guang dies or like just barely survives, and then it's the like, because if he dies, it's the when do you, especially since the guy doesn't know that they have time powers, when do you potentially reveal that you have time powers in order to bring your friend back? But also it's more risky if you don't have him because then you don't know what you're doing. So do you get the help in order, like it raised the stakes on both sides if you did, but then also if you don't, like, but now that he is alive and it's not a thing of he's in critical condition in the hospital, which is something that I thought it might be, where it's the, you still don't have him to help you much, but he's not dead. So, there you go.
Yeah.
Like it's now it's the, like, they might still need to be very cautious about how they move because given that the officer was just there observing, right? Like they don't know what they can exactly do without tipping the hand that no, yes, your ability is actually time travel, right? Like, because that's a huge bit of information if the antagonist gets it.
I can't wait for that moment where they casually start speaking in code about making a code.
Oh, nice.
Like,
yeah. Like how many
what I mean?
degrees do they set it back? Yeah.
Well, not degrees to set it back, but basically having that moment where they're like, hey, we're going to need to develop a code, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. But how do we develop a code in such a way that if someone observing here wouldn't actually be able to still understand the code?
Well, one of the ways that you could do it is you go back to a random point in the past that Lu Guang was alive, so it's needle in a haystack. And then when he's like at 7 years old or something, it's like,
that's the part there is that they have all these episodic mini stories that could all be points for them to have memories together, where they basically could,
like, piece by piece assemble the code,
connect things together.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Yeah, like this set of developments is something that, like, especially with the whole bit of how Lu Guang survived and everything and what that means. I think it really is showcasing that basically this is going to be a time travel show that really does hold up on rewatch.
Yes.
That because of the way that they're doing things, there's a lot of times where time travel shows, little things don't quite make sense. Like they'll feel a little convenient or something, but with this, I don't know. Like
with this, it could be the kind of thing where Lu Guang is in the operating room guiding the hands of somebody who's saving himself. The kinds of things I'm thinking about are like Lu Guang and Cheng Jiaxi, because this was the whole thing with the OP that now I feel like also is kind of hinting at this as well, is that Lu Guang and Cheng Jiaxi are both eternally yo-yoing.
To say nothing of the antagonist.
Yeah. No. They're both eternally yo-yoing to befuddle the antagonist.
Sure.
But also...
Never let them know your next move.
No, but because they're also pinging between the points in which they die and they're interacting as friends.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. No, that's a great point.
Because I think what was very much implied here in the beginning is that Lu Guang has seen already both him and Cheng Jiaxi's deaths at some point. And it's him trying to find the way in which he can...
That makes sense.
He can set things up with enough rules that they have such an iron setup on the way that their abilities work that when the inevitable other time people come in, that he didn't know how they would attack.
Right. Yeah, they've got a good foundation on how to deal with it.
That they'll be able to always win out in that regard.
And also maybe they don't leave any clues that it's time travel.
Right.
You know? Like there could be a thing where maybe the reason that Lu Guang's alive, it could be an operating room thing, but maybe they go back and they try that and it doesn't quite work. So then they have to do the really crazy thing.
Yeah.
We have to possess the killer.
Yes.
While they're killing you.
Yes.
And just slightly adjust
the
impact
blade
of the knife.
Yep.
You know? So they just
exactly
miss that vital
just
a little bit and do it in a way that they're not going to notice.
That they're even being controlled.
Right.
And you could have two people hopping into the same body at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Like, there's so many ways in which this can go absolutely whack wild. Like, and
also, I would love to have that point where it's the first time you hop into a body that's already been hopped into, and you feel the third consciousness in there, and you just have this feeling where you're both like, what?
Oh yeah, no,
and then you're like, and then they jump out, like one of the party jumps out, and then the one who is there already possessing is like, did they just have a phantom nightmare? Like what?
Right.
What did this person just experience?
You could get into situations where. Forget butterfly effect of like in the physical world, right? Like that's fun and all. But what if it's butterfly effect in the I also need to go back and possess somebody at the same time that I was already possessing them. Yeah. And so not only do I need to beat the other person that's combat possessing them at the same time.
I need to guide myself in such a way
I need to make sure that I don't influence myself to muck up the original thing that I was doing. You know, like
that's where this show would go completely off the rails.
But the thing is, it totally could.
It could.
And the fact that we get the immediate, Mr. Chen, I believe was the police officer's name, just like leaving and then jumping off the building and like them seeing it's his phone. That goes to show that like, okay, cool, this is actually going to feel dangerous. Like the danger of the finale of the first season is going to be upheld.
Here's a really funny way to look at it as well. Mm-hmm. The idea of any kind of loop shenanigans happening at all means then that some of their abilities, like even Lu Guang's ability to observe in some ways, might be informed by him already having looped in some ways. And it's he doesn't actually have like crazy info and stuff. He's just inside himself, guiding himself, iterating.
Well, there is absolutely the possibility that even the info that they currently have about how their abilities function, kind of like what you're saying, but that they could have already gone back to guide the way that they would understand these things so that way they wouldn't leave any clues that that's something they can actually do so that they can surpass their limits at the critical juncture or whatever, you know, in order, like, the show can do just about whatever it wants here, and yet because of how it's doing things, I don't feel like it would, I feel like it would still have the feeling of impact and consequence.
Yeah. It would undercut the drama of things.
Right. Yeah.
Because we have another person with these abilities or something similar.
Right.
Something very similar.
And it's such a puzzly, wild ride that Lu Guang being alive, you know, again, it's like, no, of course. But still, what do we do?
What do we fucking do? I loved his knees crack in terms of when he sees that Lu Guang's there and his knees just break in the sound design of just like because he just collapses and then he's just like, what the fuck?
Right.
Which how could you do this to me? And he's like, get out, I need some rest.
And I love the comedic bit too of the cop being like, I asked if you were updated on the situation.
Right.
And it's like he's thinking I was updated in that the one prison guard was like randomly like, oh yeah, no, he died.
Right.
As opposed to like, no, but like actually, what's the situation, you know? And he wasn't curious about like why that, you know, without having told them yet what the whole situation is of, okay, there's all these crazy powers and I can prove to you that I have powers and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. The guy's just like, no, yeah, sure, yeah, just get in the front seat of my car and can you handle the phone for me? And oh yeah, no, they're at the house or something. Oh, we'll go meet up wherever they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the way in which she set up the like, wait, why is he looking at this photo when the photo was taken and stuff? And now we have the setup for, okay, we have a reason for this. Now he'll have to actually time travel, hop into the officer. But the thing is that we might literally get in the next episode the two people inhabiting the same body.
Oh, I would not be surprised at all.
It might literally be just whose will like holds over as they're like standing on the edge of the building ready to jump. And both of them are fighting to make sure that they like go down. Like one of them like punches their own leg and like, ow, fuck.
There's all kinds of ways it could be done for comedy. Another thing I want to...
I'm saying not for comedy, just for the intensity of the situation.
Yes. Absolute seriousness with that bit of like comedy and the things that they're doing to each other to like, the grabbing their own shoelaces and untying them, tying them together or something so they can't like... Yeah. But something that I will say is that this possession actually feels very different from previous possessions because the last thing that they were told was, hey, the game has been reset. Don't break the rules, numbnuts. This thing here is very much a breaking the rules. So this could be an iteration where this version of the antagonist that went back to do this has already dealt with them enough to the point where they're a bit desperate and they need, like they actually got close with the whole thing they were doing there. Or, this is the crazy thing because we did have a new character introduced even though we don't know what their situation is yet.
Can I get their name real quick here?
Oh, yeah.
Because I actually want to say that they said a name that then the boss... who's the dad of the guy that ended up getting taken control of at the end of season 1, ended up mentioning that name in a weird context here.
Well, there was the as long as he's not dead, don't bother me, which I think is
Mr.
the
Kian, right? That's the. That's the guy that they're calling here.
Right, which is the dad of the son.
Min Liu is basically the one that's the son and they're
right
there. But this feels like they're saying that this is the younger brother.
Right. Something.
If he only had half the ability of his younger brother, I would be grateful.
Right.
And Xiaolu, so
Xiaolu is, I'm guessing that's the younger brother.
Right. So Kian then is not Oh no! Mr. Kian is this guy. Actually, hold on. Hold on. I'm confused now.
All right. Well,
no. So this is Mr. Kian.
Okay.
So the younger brother is a different character entirely.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
Right.
So right, unless he calls his one of his sons Mr. Kian as like a hey, we're being professional or something, which I doubt is the case.
I doubt. No. This guy also looks kind of older than the blonde.
Oh yeah,
guy.
and just like totally different. Although the
he looks giga wealthy though.
Giga wealthy. And everything about him is I am put together kind of a thing. So they just seem like a very fun character to have in here that may or may not be connected to the whole powers thing, but
may or may not.
The thing that I want to bring up is that given that the possession of the police officer was so different in that you just gave us the thing of the game's been reset, don't cheat. Then you have somebody essentially cheat if it's not a desperate attempt by a different iteration of the future that became desperate and all that stuff. What if there was another person with powers?
It's possible.
And they're doing it this way because they also have a different way of doing things, right? Like, yeah.
Now, the thing that I'm curious about is that this new character, is talking about how they need to get the personal belongings back. And I think the issue is that the head of the company guy
is specifically talking about the phone.
Well, he's specifically talking about the phone because he's worried about what his son could end up leaking to the public about, like, company secrets or something like that.
Yep.
But the way in which this guy goes, I wonder how I can get them back. And then he looks at an apartment on the top
that I get
floor.
the feeling is the apartment of where they're meeting at the...
Well, no, that's, I think, the officer specifically.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So he could be the one doing it.
Yes.
And then it's not actually to do with...
Right. And that guy, like with the blonde guy, there was a very big difference in like, oh, okay, here's this guy that clearly is not a killer, right? Like he can't even walk. And then, so the contrast is very clear. Whereas with this guy, like he was given a task and effectively that was accomplished as a result of the time muckery, whether that was what he intended or not, you know, like whether that was actually his influence, even though it seems like it totally could have been. That's what ended up happening. And given the fact of the way it happened and everything, he got an order, he did the thing, the whatever. This could be the way that the story is essentially giving us a convenient way to simplify things, in that this is the actual user of the ability, or you know,
sure, or that there's other people with abilities and stuff in general,
sure,
and this is his,
and
he's basically a, you know, black gloves on, I get shit done for powerful people,
right?
I love either interpretation of it, but the idea that they framed the scene such that he goes to an apartment, he rings the doorbell, and then Officer Chen falls to his death at the hospital, killing himself, or is murdered, or what have you. Very curious, very, very curious. It feels like at the very least he's going to go steal a case file with a whole bunch of stuff.
Sure.
But it does feel like there's a coordination side of things that could make things bigger by the fact that the phone was switched when they had it sealed in the...
Right, well, that feels like a temporal causal update.
Right,
you know,
that's
right?
a temporal update.
Time was mucked with, and now this is the phone that's in there.
Right, Officer Chen was possessed and put the wrong phone in there, and now this person is going to Officer Chen's place where his actual phone should be. And
sure,
it's
that's a great point.
And then it's it's actually the case thing with all the stuff, and he's gonna steal it.
Also, something that I might have mentioned this in like one of the episodes of season 1 that I just love this idea, but all of the ways in which there's the conveniences of like, oh, you don't end up knowing something, and then, oh, hey, like you go back in time so that hopefully when you find out what actually happened, it's the outcome you want, right? Back when we were thinking that it was the juncture thing and you can't change the past. Given that we have time traveling antagonist, that means that theoretically all of those times where that happens to be done, that could be that's just, oh, a happy coincidence, or it's the time muckery has happened and you want to make sure that it is as subtle and difficult to pick up on as possible. Right. So it's the, like, theoretically their time stuff could have had a trail a mile wide. And then they went back and they're like, quick, we need to clear our prints. Like, we can't let them know. So we're going to go back to every single thing and we're going to set it up so that conveniently it's just, no, there's no direct evidence of time travel. It's just some convenient things happening.
We're just
very lucky, you know, right? Like, so I love that.
I love that too. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.